Okay, well, I apparently just decided that I was going to stop streaming at some point. Well, that's fun. So I'm guessing. Let's see where the last part was that you guys got to see. Oh, you didn't see me get the audio. Well, we got audio, folks. I installed the HuCard backwards, and oh, great, great. That's very cool. Um, Very cool. I don't know what the heck happened there. I just happened to look and see that I was not actually streaming. So weird. So anyway, I'll do this again. All right, so I was explaining the LCD board that I've got. So let's just go through this again, and I'll repeat myself while I get this video loaded up. So what we're looking at right now is the IPS display for, I think it's either TFT or an IPS. I can't remember. Anyway, it's the upgraded display for this Turbo Express, and okay, there we go. There's the video, and let's see if it remembers where it was. The cat's going crazy. Anyway, kind of mumbling here. I'm just trying to find. He's got a pretty good video here that just kind of labels everything up. So let's see here. Come on. I'm just kind of watching through his video just so I can. All right. It's kind of not what I wanted to have happen, but. Show me the money. Red, green, and blue. Okay, so we're going to leave it right there. I've got... Oh, actually, I guess that can take this silicone wire I've got. We'll work on it. Anyway, I'm mumbling. So, this is the LCD driver board, LCD, and it comes with this little tiny daughter board. And what this daughter board is meant to do is emulate the flex cable that goes to the OEM, and it plugs directly into this socket right here. And so I will be wiring up the video signals and a common ground for the video signal. And then there is a test point on the opposite side of this board, I believe, that holds the C-Sync signal. And you have red, green, blue, C-Sync, and the common ground. On this side, up top, or actually down here, you have your 5-volt power. Your 5-volt power is going to come from this little guy right there, and the common ground from the shielding point right there. So what's going to happen, hopefully, is I'm going to wire all this up, and we're going to provide some power to the board, and hopefully we'll get some video. So let's get this tiny board prepped, and we'll move on from there. So let's do that. Okay. Get OBS back up again, just to make sure I'm still good. I am live. Felty, I am sorry. I do appreciate you stopping by. It seems like every time you stop by, I have problems. It's all your fault. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so we got this guy right here, right? And we're just gonna flood it with solder. Here, we'll even do this. We'll smear a little flux on there. I guess my iron went to sleep. I'll be a little. It should just be pretty, just kind of just tap and go, but. Yeah, first pad's gonna need a little bit more love. And we're done. Then I think we will just scrub a dub real quick. Look, I don't want to ruin the PCB mask on this, which I know really isn't that big of a deal, but just trying to not destroy things if I can help it. I'll just hold my fingers. Whatever. Okay. There we go. Just kind of wanted to de-stickify the board, so to speak. Get all this kind of crappy, fluxy stuff up. Okay. So, now I gotta look at his video. Oh, actually, you know, we're gonna need to. So we've got those pads right there, which need some love. I'm not gonna bother with the flux because I think I should be good enough with the built-in core here. So we'll just tap-tap-a-roo, so to speak. Yeah, these are fine. If you really wanted to, you could kind of put the wires through those holes, but not really necessary. So we need to get those guys wired up, and then over on the left side of the board, we've got 5-volt and ground right there. That needs a couple of dots of solder. And now we have our board tinned. So, we're going to grab our silicon wire here and see if it is too thick. It shouldn't be. It is fine. Okay, so we're gonna just use way more than is necessary. Just so I have a lot of room to work with, and if I've got to resolder it, I've got to resolder it. I just kind of don't want to have to worry about if I've got enough length. Just cut more than you need and trim back. Silicon wire is pretty cheap. Well, it's affordable, I should say. It's not cheap, but you buy a box of it, it'll last you a good long while. So I always like to tin everything. Tin wires just solder much nicer. Simply because solder likes to meet with other solder. So if we just do this, slide that cable in, you get a nice solid connection. No strands, nothing weird looking. So now we'll do our power. Okay. Same thing. I usually strip the wire and then grab the strands to give them a little twist. and that kind of keeps everything in place. And then I just kind of get a little bit of flux to squeeze out on the. You don't need much. Just get to squeeze out, and then just kind of rub it around. And as long as everything gets a decent little coating of flux, just leave a little blob on there. So it kind of looks like that. And then just a little bit of fresh solder on your tip. And then you're left with a nice tinned wire. And then that, again, you just kind of, yeah, we're going to probably come in from the other side here. So we'll do a little left-hand soldering. Not very good with my left hand, but all it needs to do is touch the pad, slide it in, let it solidify, and there you go. All right, now you have some lovely soldered power leads. Okay, so we're gonna, since we have red, green, and blue, I think we've got a green. We should have a green. I think if we cut just right there, that should be more than enough space. So there's red and blue, and then we're gonna get into the green here. Oh, and I've got a white as well, which I might end up using for C-Sync. So it's kind of nice that we got in here. Actually, this wire has been pretty nice. I love silicone wire. I refuse to use anything less in my electronics if I can avoid it. The Kynar is a necessary evil. And it works. It does what it's supposed to do. But silicone wire is just so much nicer. Of course. That's just my opinion, but I prefer it. I like how the sheathing doesn't melt and it's flexible. So it works really well for your basic electronic stuff. Just got to make sure that the gauge is correct on it, and you're not trying to put a couple 100 volts through 30 gauge wire, and you'll be okay. But sometimes, like when it comes to soldering to, like, you saw before when I was soldering the legs of the IC and the connector, that Kynar wire is much better, just simply because I did not mean to do that. There we go. It's thinner, and it lets you get to spaces that this I think this is 28 gauge. Can't remember now. There's a piece of white for the C-Sync. And then we're going to get the green. And then we'll have red, green, and blue for the colors. And then C-Sync will be white. Alright. So, let's see here. That organized. Let's get all this. There's this, and this. That, and that. That, and that. And we're going to be doing the same thing. Let's start with, I think C-Sync is what we should start with. Since it is, oh, no. Oh, we need another black. That's right. Forgot. Because we do have a common ground to solder. guess the LCD, since it's connected via the flex on the OEM, it shares the ground from the logic board, since there's no viable ground on wherever it's sitting at. So we'll do our ground wire first. And again, we're going to just be doing the same thing: strip, flux tin, and solder, or weld if you're non-American. Okay. Alrighty. That's too much. There we go. And clean the tip off, and then we're just going to come in here and do the same thing. Just wet the solder. Yeah, see, I did not get a good tin on this one. And that's why tinning is important. Oh my lord, I've got to stop doing that. I have this bad habit of putting trash in this one little bucket on my mat, and every time I just put my hand right in that little bucket, and I just suck up all these dead capacitors and shit. So now I've got all the crap on my floor. This is why I need a better workspace. I need a trash can is what I really need. A legit trash can. Alright, so let's get this soldered better, and we'll verify it. Stop being so confident in my skills here. So we'll just look at it before I attach it. Okay, that should be much better. Yeah. You know, I say this. Fuck it. No, fuck it. We're gonna work again. I did it again. I literally just after I fucking said not to do that, I did it. Let's just work left to right. I think that makes the most sense. That way it's a little bit easier on me. Okay. Alright, so now we start with the red. Gorgeous. And we have green up next. Oh, that's right. Well, I guess we could leave it for silicon for now. Well, I keep going back and forth. I do have some kind of wire cut, but I forgot that C-sync hole is pretty tiny because it's just a small via. So I don't think the silicon wire is going to actually thread through, because we got to go through one side. See, and that's what happens when you don't get close enough to the board. It floats. Okay, so let's try that again, huh? I think the issue I'm having is that red wire is getting in the way, and I don't know what I did with my damn curved tweezers now. They're on the floor. Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? I might have to do this. Just like that. Okay, let's try to grab my soldering iron here. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Right tools make the job so much easier. You know, the benefit of all of this is that at least when I go to make this a permanent install, it'll pretty much be set up. I still have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with the audio amp. And when I go take a break here, I'm going to go hit up the Retro 6 Discord and see if Luke got back to me. I asked him, because I've got some RAM coming from him for the links. So I asked him if I could just amend my order to have him throw in a clean amp, because it makes no sense for me to order one from him and then pay almost double for it and order it from handheld. It just sucks because I actually have an order from them coming in this week. We're going to try this one by hand here. Yeah, that works. Alright, so the C-Sync, I think we're just going to bite the bullet on here, and we'll do the Kynar on this one. Ooh, that is not good. You gotta be real careful about that. Alright, that's good enough for now. We might make that a little stronger later so that there's not so much. See how all that's exposed? And this wire is so thin that it, yeah, you know, actually screw that. I'm going to do that now. This is kind of why I hate this Kynar shit, but kind of want to see if maybe I could just slide it up a little bit. Fuck. That helps if you actually have a hold of the wire. So we're going to do it more like this. Just for now. We're going to come clean that up later with some better wire. I just need this to kind of work for now. That should, well, you know, no, we're not going to do that. There. Good enough. That's much better. That's much better. Don't fucking settle for shitty work. Okay, now we've got this pre-tin, which is nice. And this one should actually be a lot easier since the C-Sync wire is. Now we're gonna get that out the way. Just like that. Yeah, this is not the greatest tin job on this one either. I think I actually needed more solder on that pad, to be quite honest. This is going to pop the wire right off, but that's fine. That'll work. I need just a touch more solder on that. Should be good there. Cool. So That leaves us looking like this in here. So we've got the red, green, and blue. We've got the C-Sync and the ground wire, and then we've got 5-volt and ground. So now we've got to wire up this little guy right here. So pin 1, I do believe, is going to be ground. And then I don't know which way is what, but we'll take a look on his board here. I got the video pulled up. Okay, so he's got red, white, yellow, ground on pin 1, and then red, white, yellow. And then if I go back just a little bit here, yellow is green and white. Did he really do it that way? You put white on red, yellow on green, and red on blue. Okay, so that's completely makes sense. Fucking A, dude. Ugh, Jesus fuck. All right. Perfect. So we're going to start here with ground. No, we're going to start. So he's got blue on the left, green on the left, red in the middle, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue. Okay, green, red, blue. We'll try that out. I think that's the only thing that would happen if I got this wrong is it would probably either just not work or the colors will be wrong. Okay, so let's repeat the same process of stripping and tinning. Is anyone in chat? I do apologize. I can't see right now. Doubt there is, but just throwing that out there in case someone's out there wondering why I'm not talking to them. All right. So we got to go through all this again here. Get ourselves a good tin on this wire. Now, in case you don't know, it is a little dangerous to tin wires over the PCBs. So make sure when you're doing this, you're not doing it over whatever you're working on. And the only reason I say that is because you will get micro particles of solder. All right, so we're going to move down here. So now we're going green first. And that did not work whatsoever. Well, I mean, it's soldered, but that's really poor. Like really, really poor. Wow, I guess I'm going to need to maybe even add more solder to this. Huh. I thought I was pretty liberal, but that has proven me wrong. I mean, there's only so much solder these pads can hold anyway, but let's just go ahead and really just kind of flood things here. Come on, wires. I mean, okay. try this again. It's probably be a little bit easier if I had this in a board holder as well. Oh my god, I can't. I literally can't. I am just freaking a mess right now. Okay, let's try this with tweezers instead. Sometimes it's easier for me to use my fingers, and sometimes I really just need to use tweezers. There we go. Okay, there we go. Fuck me, dude. That should not have taken that long. All right, so green, red, blue. Green, red, blue. So right now we need red. There's green. Let's grab red. Also making sure I'm not grabbing the red for power. Got that going. Yeah, I'm not going to tin all the solder wires literally in my robe, so. Got ourselves a nice and it's like almost like I wish I had a little bit of, I wonder if I should just tape this down with like a little tiny bit of Captain tape, but you might just be able to kind of hold it down with a small pair of tweezers like this. Perfect. So now we're going to do the red, which this frickin' thing looks like it ran out of solder. That'll work. Okay, and then blue is the only one that's left for the signal, and then I've got the ground, obviously. So we'll get the blue wire ready now. And once again, just dragging things everywhere. Get this blue wire ready. It will be nice to have all this mostly wired up. You know, if I have to redo the wiring, it's gonna suck, but won't be the end of the world, really. I'm hoping I gave myself enough room to do a proper install so it'll be more and less a drop-in kit later, minus the heavy shell modifications that I'm going to have to do. Which, out of everything in this project, that is exactly what I'm looking forward to the least, because I hate modifying plastic. I suck at it. It's an awful job. And, I hate it. I just hate it. Okay. That should at least hold that down good enough for me to get the wire on here. Okay. Looking good there. And then finally we've got our common ground, which is the last wire that we've got to put into place on this tiny ass little board. And then I will scrub it with some alcohol so I'm not shoving flux into that connector. Okay, I left a pretty big blob of some extra solder here in the hopes that it would kind of make this a little easier for me. Alright, I'm going to use some freaking tweezers because this is just a nightmare. For once, the tweezers are a much better option. Usually it's forced to do it, but I really should have taped this, to be quite honest. Food for thought for later. The little tiny board is a bit squirrely. Not a huge deal. Man, I'm just super cramped is really the main problem. Okay, so let's just scrub this. Clean off any of the crappy flux. Yeah, so that blue wire is just a little, it's alright. Not the worst, not the best, but you don't want to see like strands, which you see like a little bit of it in the red, but we're okay. That's good for the most part. It'll be nice and solid. And, I mean, there's not going to be any massive, like... I soldered this the wrong way, didn't I? I 100% just soldered this the wrong way. I'm an idiot. Well, let's do it again. Okay. So, well, no, I didn't solder that the wrong way. Okay. No, we're good. Okay. Whew. So these are the actual contacts that go in the connector, and that should be the line. I thought that I had to flip it so the contacts could get in touch, but essentially what's going to happen is we'll come over here, right? Let's see, pin 1 right there should be ground. So I think if I do a quick little test here, which I think this should be ground. Oh no, I just broke my fucking probe. Are you kidding me? Cool. Well, as you can see, I've just completely decimated my probe. So I'm going to order a new set of those. You know, it'll work for now. God dang it. I might have another set, but I don't think I do. Alright, and that's ground. So we know that without a doubt when I plug this in, just like this. Now, did that make... See, that's not really sliding in, right? It is a friction fit. That's kind of annoying. There's no way to really get a better purchase of it. My hands are a bit sweaty right now because this build has not been fun. Oh my god, it doesn't want to go in. It really doesn't. Oh, of course you're gonna fight me. This is supposed to be making my life easier so I don't have to hand wire. And yes, you are being a pain in my ass, huh? Alright, so let's just get this in the microscope and I can show you. So like, I can't really get good purchase on this board because all the wires are in the damn way. And when I, there we go. Okay, it's a freaking fit, man. But that's what if you pay attention to the PCB, you want to make sure that, here, I'll see if I can show it to you. So the back of the board, you want to make sure there's a line, right? And you can see the pads. You want to make sure that you don't see that line and you don't see the pads. You'll feel it. It'll if you heard that, it'll make a nice big thunk when it connects. So just don't, make sure you're not putting lateral force on it, just straight vertical, and just take your time. Don't go too crazy. You definitely don't want to break that board in half inside of the connector because good luck getting it out at that point. And then you're going to be forced to hardwire. Okay. So now we got to wire up 5 volt. And then I got to figure out where C-Sync is and then wire that. And then we'll be ready for disappointment or not. I'm thinking I've actually kind of got some high hopes for it, but you know, you just never know. You just never really know. Okay, so this guy, I think this is a transistor. You would think it's a MOSFET, but I think they did identify this as an actual transistor. So that plane right there is a bit thick. So I would imagine it's going to require just a little bit more heat. I'm going to use a little bit of flux. You just kind of need to get a blob of solder on there that's big enough for the power wire to grab onto, but a little bit of flux will make, yeah, see how that flowed on there? So much nicer. And then you come in and wire it. There. For now, that'll work. And I think it was that shield spot we figured out was a common ground. I'll double test that, obviously, but just to be sure. Because the shitty thing is that I'm going to have to install the shield, so I think I'm going to have to install the shield. I'll have to confirm about that. Probably would imagine that you need it, considering how all the components are so squished together. Probably does a good job of preventing any crosstalk or any weird interference that you might get. Oh man, I hope there's nobody in stream because I still can't see what y'all are saying. Alright, so let's just get U10 real quick. Okay, we got that going. And I'm going to drop my soldering iron. And I'm going to go see if this is actually a ground. It is. Yes. So you can use these shield mounting holes as a common ground. So we are going to do just that. And just we'll probably have to, remove it and resolder it later when we do the final install. But again, this is just a proof of concept dry fit scenario. So this stuff is not meant to be too permanent. Okay, so now we've got power wired up, and now I've got to figure out where C-Sync is. So let's see here. D204 right next, yeah, okay. So D204, which is on the other side of the board. And a good chunk of that Kynar exposed. And now I got to flip the board and look for D204. Okay, found it. Okay, so D204 is that guy right there. And then I'm just going to take this and via. Just want to expose the via. Let's clean this up some. I think we need just a little bit more. Just a little bit, not much. It's kind of funny how I've got all these little tools in my box, and I don't really use a lot of them very often. But when I do need to use them, they are amazing. That little grinding pen was like $20, I think. So, shit. I mean, if I use it like once a month, it's paying for itself. Okay, so 204, and we're gonna basically. Alright, so 204. Yeah, so it comes out crazy, 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 crazy. Okay, so let's just get this back in order. Alright, 204. Came out near some capacitors. Now we're just going to do this again. D204 was right there. I think it came out right next to that R202, so we'll just take one more quick little look. Because we are going to basically be soldering it. I'm going to be threading it through the opposite way. Alright, so D204. Right near R202 is where I need to go. So basically, what we're going to do, so here is R202 is right there. So put that through there like so. And then kind of hold it in place with my finger. Flip the board over. Okay, so now comes the tricky part. So I'm just basically going to do this by eyeball. fact, I'm actually going to do this a little bit smarter. And use my left hand to hold this wire in. You could use tape. Which actually probably is the way to go. And it is, in fact, the way I am going to go. I am going to put a little piece of tape over this, because if I had 3 hands, it would be better, but I don't. So let's just make our lives easier. Anything you can do to make your lives easier, just do it. Making your life harder is not fun. Okay, so that's going to be held in place by that. Let's get this back over like that. Now we can look under the microscope. You can see right there's the wire popping up at a D204, and since everything was so tiny and so thin, it should just kind of solder up pretty easy here. Might need to put some flux. I think we're going to need to put some flux. There is a wire poking up, right? Yeah, there is. So might need to drill some more up. Let's just add some flux. Because flux makes the world go round. Okay, let's clean that crappy solder off the tip. And just tap a roux real quick to liquefy. Might actually, there we go. Tip probably wasn't the greatest choice for that job. Probably would have been better off with the, but what we can do now, real quick, if I tap D204 here, goes all the way, you can see it goes all the way to the little tiny board. So, that being said, all that being said, we are ready for disappointment. We are ready for disappointment, I think. So, over under, do you guys think it's going to work, or do you think I'm going to be crying? I think we have a good shot. But given the way my life has been going lately in terms of repairs and stuff, I don't know. I'm a little apprehensive. I will be quite honest. A little apprehensive. But, I mean, all we can really do is cross our fingers and pray. I don't see really anything wrong with what I've done. So, fuck. Let's try, guys. Let us try. Alright, here she goes. Alright. It's kind of funky looking. It doesn't look right. It's in black and white. Okay, so I've got an issue somewhere. Okay, that's interesting, but we've got video. It's in black and white, but we've got video. And I'll double check my my wiring, but we got video. We got video, folks. That's not working at all. Try that again real quick to make sure the hue card was in there good enough. Well, we're getting scrambled video now. So I'm wondering what the potential issue could be here. I wonder if it's that audio hack I've got going. Maybe. I'm not sure. Let's see what we got. It's not loading that right. We really still might have a processor issue. Could have RAM issues. Let's load Bonks again. See if Bonks is now doing the same thing that card's doing. Once again, I also have no idea the quality of these cards. They just came with it. Alright, well, Bonks is loading. It's, just in black and white. Okay. Now I want to see what my EverDrive looks like. Just wonder if maybe I did get the colors wrong or something. Alright, so this is an EverDrive. This should tell me it's got no flash card installed. Okay. Nah, SD card not found. But it's working, so we've got, well, it's working. We got one working. The baseball game is just fucked. I wonder if that's the C-Sync thing. Maybe I need to solder C-Sync better? Not sure. However, we have progress. Okay. I'll try one more time with this baseball game. This card is a little... Well, I don't know if that's factory. Yeah, I think that's done in the factory to help pull the card out. Let's try this one again. There we go. I'm trying to see if it goes into a demo mode. Yeah, it's... making a weird noise too. It's black and white, so something's not too happy about what I did. So it does make me kind of wonder if maybe I reversed something on the card. I'm going to go take a quick break and then take a look too. So I'll be right back. Green, red, and blue. Right? Yeah, I've got that wired right. I've got it wired right. Green, red, blue. And then red, green, blue, C-sync, ground. That's green, red, blue, ground.
And by comparison, I can tell that the text on this looks really crisp. I'm not sure if that's coming through on camera, but this is, you know, good enough for now. I mean, of course, I'm gonna put it into the case, and you guys can see how things look once I'm done. But yeah, let me go ahead and get started with the next step, which is to prepare the front part of the shell so that it can accommodate the new screen. All right, so I've got everything connected up now, and let's go ahead and power things on and see how the new screen looks. There we go. Okay, man, that looks really good. So I'm. All right, so I've got everything. All right, so the next thing that we have to do is we need a.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Okay, so the next step here is we're going to remove a transistor called Q507, and we're going to go ahead and take a little wire and solder it from the top leg of Q507 to one side of ceramic capacitor right there called C5.
Okay, good news. Well, hopefully good news. So, I forgot, in all of my excitement to get this done, I forgot that, so there is a little jump that I have to do on the other side of this board. Somewhere. So, if y'all remember me bitching, is it this side? Yes, it's right there. So, it's that Q507 transistor, right? Well, somehow that thing died on me. But thankfully, with this kit at least, you don't need it. In fact, what you're supposed to do is jump it. And you're jumping it from that top leg that I just kind of filled up with some flux there. So we're going to grab this and bring you down there. And that capacitor needs it as well. So we're going to jump from the top leg here. Come on, wake up. The soldering iron fell asleep. And your solder doesn't melt, and your soldering iron is not on. So just a nice little bloop and bloop. And then I should have one little chunk of wire here. Can't see right now, so we're gonna do the old 10 one side, okay, so this guy's gonna go there. Might be a little bit of a chunky wire choice, but we might make it work here. All right, and then we're going to tin the other side here. Alrighty. Pray for me, guys. I'm hoping this is all I missed, and that when I solder this up, we get color. Okay, so we're going to start by soldering the tiny pad first. That was the harder stuff. I always like doing the hard stuff first. Yeah, this wire is going to be way too long and way too thick. But for the time being, I think we could make this work. And if this has to be slightly temporary, it'll be slightly temporary. It's not the greatest job. Don't really like how that's kind of up like that, but we'll let that slide for now, and we'll redo that later. I'll probably just use a small piece of enameled wire through that, or maybe we'll just do an actual piece of Kynar and just trim, because it's only a couple of volts, so it's not too big of a deal. Okay, so we are all plugged in. I gotta flip back over again, make sure you're not on the mat so I don't short you. Alright, boys and girls, pray for me here. We'll turn the light off so you can see better. We're gonna plug in power. And actually what we're gonna do, okay, is we're gonna switch baseball out for bunks. Let's go. Yes! Success! Oh Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm freaking ecstatic. God, it looks so good too. There's some. Well, I gotta do the jail bar fix as well. There is some weird lines on the screen. But again, like, the shitty thing is I can't tell what's supposed to be there and what isn't. Let's try baseball. I'm wondering if maybe I'm just getting some weird kind of interference because of how everything is just out in the open.
Hey.
And I don't have the shieldings installed. So I'm kind of just hoping that everything I'm seeing right now is due to my janky little setup here. Oh my god. Let's just see if I can see it. No. Man, there's still some sort of lines going through it. I've got to do that jail bar fix as well. But, oh my god. It works. And I think that's honestly where I'm going to stop with this one today. Excuse me while I run to the bathroom and celebrate. All right, sorry for all that dead air. I just had to go brag and shout to the world that I got this fixed. But now the big issue that I'm going to have is I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to undo this. I think for the time being, I'm just going to do this. And then, well, I do want to go do... Let's do the jail bar fix. So there is apparently some extra capacitors I need to wire in to do a fix to get rid of it. I don't know if you noticed, but here, yeah, I could do that right now. So there's these black bars that show up on the sides of the screen, and you can see like these black bars, like right there, and then right there. So that is jail bars, and if I add some extra capacitance in, supposedly it'll fix that issue. I can't really speak right now. You have absolutely no idea how ecstatic I am right now. So I'm looking for... Okay, purchase these parts of the kit. Okay, now, all right. So they're trying to figure out where I saw this. No, perform the jail bar fix. There it is. Jail bar vertical bar fixed. Tim Worthington found this, and I think Tim Worthington is the guy that does the NES RGB. So shouts to Tim Worthington. Vertical bars may be visible on PC Engine or TurboGrafx consoles. This is due to insufficient capacitance on the analog and digital 5-volt supply for the 6260 chip, which 6260 is one of those big guys in the back. So I have to increase the capacitance on each 5-volt supply rail. This is easily accomplished using SMDs. Our notes listed below list one set of visible caps and are the farthest away from other parts. On many PCBs, there are actually 3 per 5-volt rail to choose from. So let's take a look. At Turbo Express, C709 and C715. And that is right, okay. Do I need to add them on, or do I replace them? That's a good question. All right, hold on a minute. Well, I'm confused because they don't tell me, like, they literally don't say. They really don't tell me, though, whether or not I'm supposed to replace them, or... I just don't know. Do I double up or do I replace them? I'm so confused. They don't say. It. I guess I just replace them. Hmm. It tells like all the console versions it's fine, but for the handhelds it just says C709 and C715 improves quality of LCD modded units. So I am really not sure if that means that I'm supposed to replace these or if I'm guessing I'm supposed to just replace them. End of the day, I could always just. I'm guessing. I guess it won't really hurt if I just replace it, but. Okay, so now the rub is going to be. Okay, that's on the other side of this board. Let's take the cue card out so I don't ruin that. And what did he say it was? It was C709 and C715. Okay, so let's just take a look under the microscope here. Okay. Let's grab my scope. Okay, let's just bring you down just a little bit here, just so I don't bump too much into my camera above. Now I know for a fact that it was over. That's IC 700. There's 703, and I need 709, 715. So imagine that's down over this way. There's 709 and 715. No, they're not next to each other, but 715, which is right near resistor 716, 12, 14, 723, 719, 718, and it's near 715, 716. So probably down this way. 710, 712, 714. I'm not really seeing this here. That is right next to no, it's up this way. So I think it's on the other side of this chip up here. So this thin guy. Other side of this maybe? There's 703. I need 715. I don't see a 715. It's like it lists that as having two resistors right above and below it, but I don't have that. So I'm not really sure. Is it on the other side of the board, maybe? Might be on the other side of the board. Okay, so it would probably be on this side of the board. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, 715's down. Right down this way. So let's just start with 715. Okay, and then basically what we're going to do here is hope to God they don't melt anything. And we will just... So that's 715. Thankfully, I actually have spares of these if I somehow screw up and lose it. Yeah, this one looks beefier. I think I'm just supposed to straight replace it, to be quite honest. Like, we're gonna dap a little flux on there and reflow that. Just kind of wanted to get that settled a little bit better. It felt a little janky. We're good now. Okay. So now we got to flip to this side of the board. And I think we figured out that 709 right by D204. Yeah, it's down this way. Down this way. There's D204, this 709. Alright, this is going to be a not so fun job. It's simply due to a capacitor right next to it, but I think got away with it. And those both look to be the same. Keeping them just in case I need them, but I don't think I will. Okay. I'll grab my curved tweezers for this job. I think that will go a little slightly easier. I'm going to go check my porch here in just a second because I might actually have my new tweezers. Okay. So hopefully right. I didn't do it right. But we've got it on there enough that I could probably just nudge it now. I twitched at the end. Something flux going across the board freaked me out for just a second. I thought I'd blew something off, but thinking now I could just kind of come in again and et voila. Okay. So that apparently is the jail bar fix. And we are going to test this theory out. See what we get. So I think what's going to happen is those black lines should go away. Now, it might also fix that weird discoloration that I was kind of seeing. But again, I can't tell you if that's just normal TurboGrafx or what. Unfortunately, I just have zero experience with the system because it was not anything that I ran into growing up. I knew one kid named John Cook who had TurboGrafx 16. He was not a very well-liked kid. Bit of a bully. I never actually got to play it, but I know he had it. So, okay. Let's see. So I'm plugged in now. I am plugged in. I'll put OBS back up so I can actually see what I'm doing. And voila. Okay. Now let's get this out the way so y'all can see. Turn off this light. Hopefully it makes it a little easier to see. And here we go. Okay, well, the bars still seem to be there, but I think that fixed... Oh, okay, that's probably normal. Okay. Let's just let this load real quick. And no, they're still there in the sky. Yeah, but now I can't tell. That also might be due to the fact that I've got this screen protector on too, because I'm seeing some weirdness, but yeah, I'm not sure. But I definitely add them in, and the jail bars on the right and the left didn't go away. So, I'm actually a little confused as to what that mod just did, if it did anything at all. Really can't tell. But it looks fine. Everything looks fine. It's just that the jail bars didn't go away. Now, I guess I was supposed to add on top of them? I don't know. We have a massive thunderstorm going on right now. I don't know if I should or if I shouldn't. Add those capacitors in. Guess it can't hurt. And have our set of new tweezers now. Let's see how good these things are. I think it's one of those tools in a electronic text workbench that you just, it's gonna be constantly in flux. You are going to be going through a lot of them. And that's fine, I guess, but just neat. I was looking for something with, wow, these are gorgeous. So these are the tweezers, right? And if we take a look under the microscope here real quick, yeah, very, very, very fine tip. So that's really cool, because I was struggling on certain. The only thing I really don't like about these is they're not that long, so when I use hot air, I'm probably going to be toasting the crap out of my fingers. Now I'm really curious though. Those do both look to be the same. I'm going to test out using my capacitor tester. If they are the same, I hope to God I don't ping them off into Narnia. This device is not the easiest thing to use. I've got to modify it to make it easy to use. I've got plans to solder on some actual leads to it so that I don't have to frickin' squeeze like my life depends on it. Alright, so if I do this and that, it's telling me it is 6.9 nanofarads, which doesn't seem right, and this is telling me it is that's what I was afraid was going to happen. Basically, I'm just trying to squeeze it and hold it in place with some tweezers so that the damn thing does not just shoot off into oblivion here. .448 nanofarad, which is like 0.47 microfarad, and this guy is .10 microfarad. Or is that really 10 nanofarad? Shit. Well, shit. I mean, end of the day, not having them on isn't really doing anything. So it kind of makes me question if I should bother putting them on. I don't know what I should do here. Part of me wants to try, the other part of me goes, don't. You've gone this far, it's working. Problem is that once I get this thing all put back together again, I really, to do this fix, I'm going to have to pull off those metal shieldings, and that's not really a fun job and something I want to constantly have to do. So maybe I do add them on, because worst push comes to shove, I just pull it off. But I just literally just lost. It takes 2 seconds for me to lose things here. Yeah, see, and this stupid flux is leaking. What did I do with the damn thing? There's a little lid that goes with this that I can't find now. That's fuck it. Who cares? It'll show up at some point, and I'll put it back. So the question goes, what came from where? They're definitely different size capacitors. Alright, so this I think is where C715 this looks to be like the same size as that capacitor. Slightly smaller. And then there is also, let's just pull this off so I don't potentially ruin this. And then we have, where was that? Down there, C709. I think 709 was probably the, let's take a look here. I think this is the other one. Yeah. I think this guy went there. Maybe. Looks like a better fit, honestly. Size-wise, it looks like a better fit. I don't know if I could do this with this tip, though. That's the problem. I think if I maybe just get some flux going, and then if I tin up one side, let's get some flux on this here. End of the day, if this doesn't work, I can just pull it off and leave what's on there, because that's working. So if I come in here, I should just be able to kind of do that, and then that. And if I take the bigger guy here, I'm wondering if I could just kind of bleed the solder from one to the other. Got a nice little pile of flux in there. I'm gonna get some solder on my tip here. And maybe, if I'm lucky, I can make this work. Okay, that's one side. Now can we get the other? Is the question, without bridging that processor. Yes, sir. Perfect. Now we gotta flip this sucker around here and do the same thing for C715. Okay, this one's gonna be slightly trickier. I might put this cap on top. Knowing that I've got a direct replacement for it if I screw all this up. Okay. so we've got that going. Now, using my brand new pliers, or pliers, tweezers. Grab that sucker. Put him right on top, just like that. And if I'm really lucky here, look at that. Now this is a slightly trickier ask here, but I'm going to do the same thing. It's got to be a little bit quicker. I don't think that did it. I'm going to add some more flux top. I can't see. I'm not sure if they're really connected or not. But when you see that, when you see your solder peaking like that, then it means that there's no flux in it. It's kind of dry. So just add some fresh flux. And I'm going to just kind of think that should do it. Okay. All right, so shit. Let us test and see what happens here. I'm just kind of rearranging some shit so I don't, once again, do not fry anything. We've come so far. So far, so far. Now we need our power source. That did it. Nope, that did not do it. That didn't do a damn thing. Okay. Still have black bars, the left and the right. Let's see what happens in the sky when the game loads here. And I still see the same striping in the sky. Again, I can't really tell if that's just normal or not. But either or, we're just going to leave that alone. That doesn't really, it's not hurting anything. And yeah, cool. I think that is honestly where we leave that for this time being. I'm going to have to honestly figure out a way to store this, because right now it is definitely, the LCD is quite exposed. But I want to stop where I'm at with it, because I think at this point, really, the more I play with it, the bigger the likelihood that I'm going to destroy something. So I guess I could bundle it up just like all that, and we'll just have to stick this in a very safe spot. Another very safe spot. All right. What a day. We are going to do one more thing today. This stupid thing, I want to get this stupid thing off my plate. I'm sick of looking at it. So, this is a switch light that we were working on the other day. Determined that one power flex is broken, not soldered right. So what I'm going to do is replace it. And this time, I'm going to use the right amount of solder on those pads. Or do it better. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, really. It does kind of suck because we had a lot of this screwed down. So I've got to redo all this crap. Not a huge deal, just a pain in the butt. And the crappy things about switch lights is they do use a whole bunch of different size screws, so not really hard to keep track of, but just a lot of extra work. Anyway, let's just get this pulled out. Don't think I've got any more screws in there anywhere. Shouldn't. So we actually had replaced a. Oh, I do have a couple more screws in. Yeah. And I think it's also supposed to be a brass screw, but I could be wrong on that. Okay. Yeah, we had some screws put in place to keep the board from flopping around. There we go. That should just pop right on that now. Okay. Set this aside up here, and then we're going to get this into the vise that I've got aside. So essentially, I guess we'll even pull this thing. So I noticed that the other day that all the back legs in this connector were completely dry and wobbling. So of course it's not going to want to work. So solution is to man, I have a neighbor that's doing some woodwork right now. That's what that noise is. Just really weird high-pitched noises throughout the day. But apparently, that's because he's doing some woodwork. So let's get the camera out here. We're just gonna do a quick little removal of this guy. Nice thing here is that this should come off pretty easy. Oh, there's the fucking thing. I knew I stuck it somewhere stupid. Anyway. Not exactly what I wanted to do. Let's just see if it's still okay. Alright. Perfect. Alright, so let's get this properly tinned. that. I hate these odd-shaped boards. Just don't like that clamp very well. I've got to honestly work on a better clamp solution. Now I think I'm going to swap to the thinner tip on this one and see how well that does. I'm soldering at a much lower temperature these days. I'm kind of enjoying it more. Alright, so we've got, healthy amount of flux on everything. And get some fresh solder going in here. And we'll just see. We'll just see what kind of a job this does. Note to self: don't leave amazingly hot soldering iron tips in places where you're going to rest your palm. So that's going to feel good for the next couple of days. And so we can see that the tip's not making good contact. So let's come here and just fix this up some. Now that really hurts. That is going to feel amazing tonight. Of course, I can't even really see what I'm doing. Let's get a little focus going on here, huh? Get some more flux, because this doesn't seem like it's really paying attention to what I'm doing here. Let's really give it some flux. I'm going to try to do this again. Well, that is really painful. That's going to hurt real bad. Okay. Alright, I don't think we even really need the vise for this. No. So, we're going to find that. It's still not perfect. See what happens when I wet them down. I get a little bit more uniform looking here. Okay, so that should actually make the install go slightly smoother as well, just because Board's a little bit warm now. So we are going to reuse. So I took one of these off a daughter board because just I thought for a minute that maybe I had a internal short on the daughter board, but it turns out, as I say quite often here, I am just an idiot. And the flex cable that connects the daughter to logic board actually has an orientation. Who would have known? And that really hurts. Anyway, so the reason the damn thing was shorting was because I had the cable plugged in the wrong way. And the nice thing is there's a good amount of flux on this board. Solder on these legs. Boards are already warm. I mean, this should really flow down. Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll verify, and hopefully I didn't blow off any components on the other side, but I guess we're gonna be good here. So let's just take a look at the other side, just make sure I didn't really fuck anything up. Because BQ's directly on the other side. All the passives there look good. All the MOSFETs are in place. M92 looking pretty stellar. Okay, let's give this girl a clean. See, that connection also looks so much nicer than the melty one that was there before. Now the problem with these connectors is A, they're fragile, and B, you've got to make sure that you absolutely clean the ever-loving crap out of them after you flow them, because you don't want to let the flux stay on the inside of these connectors. So it's a little bit of some elbow grease needed, but man, those back pins actually look a lot better now. I'm gonna toot my own horn here. Things are looking a little bit better on this install. It's not a terribly difficult install. It's a pain in the ass, and the connectors are kind of expensive. I think they're like $3 a pop, because you can't get them unless you order like 20,000 of them. So, you know, there's that. And so flip the latch up and down a couple of times. That should hopefully squeeze out any more. Scrub again. The same thing. And then take a cotton bud. Kind of try to soak up anything that's maybe in the area. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's get him dried off. Just some warm air. And then we're going to clean up all this crap right here. Now we're gonna actually just go take a look for some short, or we'll do the solid test is what we're trying to get at. So now, mainly more concerned about the back of the board here. So we'll just take a quick visual inspection. It'll look good from the top, but I'm seeing a couple that are looking pretty suspect. So let's zoom in, get some better focus going. Okay. So zoomed inspection is a lot more hopeful. Those are looking pretty good. New tweezers. That looks the way we need it to be. Now I know if my inputs don't work perfectly, this is where you look. Alright, that passed the solid test. Now I'm assuming the front is going to be equally as good. Here. Yeah, no qualms. I'm not gonna even. Well, there's that third one from the left is looking a little sus, but okay. You should basically, if they move with zero effort, then they're not soldered. But if you can nudge them, it got a little blobby on a couple of them, but I'd rather have a little extra solder than not enough, because not enough is bad. At least with a little extra solder, you can form a good connection. So there's that. So now we get to do the fun bit here, which is just a very, very quick test. Maybe the board would want to settle for me. For some reason it's caught up on something. I don't know what it's caught up on. Oh, I see what's caught up with. Let's just fix that before that becomes a problem. This whole membrane came off, which you can't see because I know I'm not in frame. Yep. Frickin' button membranes. There we go. That's better. All right, let's get this out of the way. Gotta clean again. Right, so what we're gonna do, just for sanity's sake, because really don't like it when the motherboard's flopping around. Takes 2 seconds just to put a couple of screws in the USB port, and that's really all it takes to keep it in place. Probably only need the one, but just in case, not just triple strength. Alright, so we know for a fact that backlight wires go to the right there. Oh man, that went in so much easier too. Little fluxy in there. I might have to clean it again. I could feel some flux in the back of it, but for the most part, that slid in beautifully. I've changed so many of these now because they just, especially in the liquid damage versions of these, or versions, but when you buy consoles and they come liquid damage, for the most part, they do tend to fuck over those connectors because it's a high voltage line. So, alright, so I should still have that Joy-Con plugged in. No power flux, so we're gonna have to use USB to power. Let's turn this off, maybe get a little less glare, and then we'll see what's going on here. So, do we get a backlight? We got it backlight. Oh. Okay. You know, folks, we've got the backlight, so that's good. Okay, so that means that we should be working. This is what happens when you move too quick. So in order to get LCD to show up, it kind of just sort of helps to actually plug the LCD into the god dang console. And then just for, you know, I'll just do the digitizer as well. Okay, so now hopefully when I plug this in, we should have a working console. Battery symbol, Nintendo. All right, so the test. Does this make the screen disappear? It does not. So let us go over to our controllers and sensors. And so now, when I touch everything, got left, up, right, down. Did not press the ZR or anything like that. Minus button works. And then if I click in, that works. And then if I click the little button, that worked. And if I take a little bit of a pad here, come on, pop out for me. Oh, this one's done. This one is done, folks. She is done. That didn't work for me. Come on now. Huh, okay, so we're still not getting that, though. That's a little disappointing. I think this is right. Okay, that sucks. Could be because I don't have it really hooked up right. Let's try this. Let's try a quick baby install. Thankfully we can... Oh wait, is this not the right... This isn't the right one. I need ZL, don't I? That is over here. And the spare membrane's right there. So let's try... Okay. So, theoretically, when I know, well, shoot, you know, I kind of had one screwed in to hold this board into place. A little nervous that this button's not working. That could be the reason. Like I said, if I don't have a button working, then I guarantee you I've got a leg that's not making the right contact. So all you got to do is basically buzz it out. Okay, and nothing. Yep. Absolutely nothing. Dang it. So we still have a missing connection. Now, that means we've got to figure out where it's missing. All right, I'll be right back. I do have to use the bathroom yet again. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Sometimes you can't ignore nature. And I'm going on a little bit farther than I wanted to today, but we'll stick with this for just a minute or two more. I'm going to make it a bit of an earlier day today, because I want to go sit and play Zelda. I ain't going to even lie. Let's get you under the microscope. Most likely what's going on here is I have a issue with either a leg not being soldered, or there's that flux that I felt in the connector that could be causing a problem. Let's get this board out. But the only way that we're gonna be able to tell is buzzing things out and figuring out where the buttons go. These digital buttons do lead to a small MCU, and I have had one instance in the past, one of my most favorite fixes ever, actually, where that one died on me and was preventing a single button from functioning correctly. So, let's see what we got here. I think I could unzoom you. And then get you out of seizure mode here. Alright, so what I do is basically first we're going to take a look, right? So buttons are simple things. And one side this is going to be a ground and the other side is going to be the signal. And I guess you can see which side the signal is and which side is the ground. And if you can't, you can see that this is the signal line. And I bet you if I probe this, find a ground here. Yep. So when you short that to ground, you generate a signal, and that signal goes to the board. Now, what we're going to have to do is we hold probe on the button. Actually, essentially, we're just going to first we're going to trace this, right? So it's that top trace goes all the way to this test pad, and we can verify by doing boop. Okay. And so that test pad is this trace. So the second trace, and it goes just trace it, literally just trace it. To this pin right here. Okay. So now we have to see, does it make it to this connector? I could see flux. Like right now I could see flux. So I'm kind of guessing that the flux is causing an issue here, but so this is where we're going to have an issue. Now, I think this pin right here, that guy's not connected. I should have signal from here to here, and I don't. So let's flip you around and just check you out. So we were saying that guy does not look soldered. Well, I mean, he looks soldered to me. So this pad right here, so I should have connection from here to there, but I don't. So do I have a break in that line, or is it just being a son of a bitch here, huh? Now my dumbass, unfortunately, broke off my damn... See, that looks perfectly soldered to me. What about you guys? That looks completely soldered. Nope. Definitely not. Now, one more time now, just to verify here. This guy definitely looked like he was moving. Let's see if I can't get a little bit of better light in there. Unfortunately, these things are a pain in the ass to get to. Yep, that's moving. So, we're going to have to just flux and tap that one guy right there, which is going to be fun. But I thankfully have... Let's do this, because I don't really need all this hunk of pile of flux there. I just kind of need a little dollop. Little dab will do me here, huh? Even this is just like crazy, because I'm going to have to pull the board and clean again. But you could see, like, look at all that flux right there, too. Yeah. So we'll just tap this a couple of times. And we'll clean all the cables in there and pushing all that flux. Yeah, that connector is stupid fluxy right now. So that could very well be also the problem. But that leg was definitely kind of wobbly, so we'll do a little surgery first. I just need to be able to see what I'm doing. Oh, I need to do this, because otherwise I'm going to have a literal seizure. Do that and that, and now I think... just got to burn off some of this flux. It was this guy right here. Okay. Now, do I have a connection? Let me find out. So, it was this guy right here. Nope, still no connection. I don't understand. Did I not solder that right, or... It looks good to me. I mean, it really looks good to me, but again, it could just... Oh, no, I should get a beep. I don't know why I'm not getting a beep. Alright, let's take you apart. We'll take you to task again here. That is 100% soldered. Maybe not, but... very weird. It's always just one of these damn things, huh? This test, I definitely just want to make sure that, yeah, see, like I'm pushed up against that. I should. So I've got connection from there to there, but I don't have connection from here to here. So there's like a break in there or something. It definitely makes it from... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm on the wrong leg. So it's 2? No. It's the third one right there. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Alright, so it's making it through. Now we just test again. And if that works, then I can just clean everything up and call it a day on this one finally. Battery's plugged in. Get the screen turned off. Get you turned on with the USB power. Let's see if we can't figure this out. Because if not, I'm just going to have to continue tracing where that line goes and figure out where the break is. That one definitely, that's a digital button, so it should go all the way up to the control chip. God dang, that burn really stings, let me tell you. Okay, so we're going to come in here. Controllers and sensors, test input devices, test controller buttons, and then all we really need to do is just... There we go. That's all it was. She is done. That, my friends, is a fully functional switch light. So really, all that's left to do with her is just clean and reassembly, and we're good to go. So I'm going to pull her apart here. We're going to get some cleaning done, and then I'm going to call it a day. Because I don't really feel like reassembling all of this right now. Well, maybe I will. Okay, we got all that going. Let's get this stuff pulled out of the USB. Oh, and yeah, for anyone that was tuned in, so to speak, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to leave that cable in there so that flux is nice and bubbled to the top. Anyway, I was bitching about losing all these daughter boards that I had bought. And I remembered, oh yeah, I stuck all those some bitches in a bag of Joy-Cons, and I found everything. So, got that going for me. Okay, we're gonna clean here. Just try to get all that flux off the top of that connector. Keep scrubbing. Usually I kind of suggest like plugging and unplugging things a couple times, but with this cable and how fragile this connector is, I really wouldn't suggest it. I mean, you might be okay, but I would honestly just, just try to work on cleaning it with cotton buds and a toothbrush, because let's see here. Yeah, we could see all that flux that was sitting right there at that left hand side has definitely gone away. Oh man, that makes me so happy though. It really honestly does. And actually, probably when I go to put this one back together, which I'm just going to save for tomorrow, what was I saying? Shit. I completely lost my train of thought. Let's take a look at that connector again. Oh, I gotta pull the mid frame out and reattach this ribbon cable correctly. So I think we're good, honestly. I mean, there might be a little bit of flux left in there, but if all the buttons are working, so you don't even have to do this. That last one, the melty plit made you kind of shove things in place, but we're good. We are good. We are very, very good. So I think I'm just gonna leave it there, honestly. It's 3:35. I kind of want to just go play some Zelda. I'm really enjoying it. And I didn't play it all yesterday, so I kind of want to go do that today. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. But huge day for me, huge day. We got that Turbo Express running. We got the LCD upgrade kit verified working. We verified all the hardware in it. I mean, that thing is as good as gold. I do have to wait for a couple of parts. One's for the links, and when that links part arrives, I should have a new audio circuit for the Turbo Express, which will also have the benefit of making my audio louder, which is kind of nice. Anyhow, we went from a $300 brick to a fully functional and pretty rare console. So I am ecstatic. That is, if everything else didn't work this weekend, then I still would be ecstatic. I almost cried. I'm not even exaggerating. I legitimately almost cried when that screen came on. Because I was really upset that I thought I had wasted a bunch of money, and I didn't. So there's that. And I am super happy. I am now a proud owner of a GT Express, and said GT Express works. And it's not a GT Express, it's a Turbo Express. Whatever. Anyways, we got it working. And then on top of that, even though I got that working, and I probably should have called it a day, I forged ahead and we finished up that switch light repair. I kind of had another one I was hoping maybe to get to today. That's just another the flex connector replacement. But like I said, I'm just, I'm not going to push my luck. Getting that Turbo Express working was the highlight of my day, and I want to go out on a win, and that win was definitely the switch light, which is now fully functional. I can button it up and then send it off to hopefully a new home. And I don't know. I think that's where we're at. So for anybody who stopped by, anybody in the future watching, thank you very much. I do stream every Saturday and Sunday. Usually start around 11 a.m. to noon Central Standard. Go for about 4 or 5 hours. On Saturdays I do mods. On Sundays I try to do repairs. Not set in stone. Next week or whatnot, I don't know what I actually have in store, because I'm going to be waiting for at least 2 weeks on Retro 6 to ship me that stuff. So don't really know what I'm going to plan for next week. I'll dig through my box of tricks. I definitely have plenty of work. I've got a Famicom we can work on. I've got a bunch of stuff we could do. So that being said, I'm just going to call it a day. I hope you all have a good rest of your weekend, and I hope maybe to see you here next time. And other than that, like I said, just enjoy your time off. Good luck with the upcoming week, and hopefully it's as stress-free and fun as possible. I'm trying not to destroy very important metal shielding. All right, there we go. Cool. I am done.